Lesson 23, Factoring Quadratic Expressions. Take a look at the definition. Here we have the word quadratic, and it means involving a base raised to the second power, or squares, and no higher power. The Latin word quadratus means square. Here's part 1. It says, write the following squares as exponents. Here's box A. 1 times 1 can be written as 1 to the second power, or 1 squared. 2 times 2 can be written as 2 squared. 3 times 3 can be written as 3 squared, and so on. Box B. N times n can be written as n to the second power, or n squared. X times x can be written as x squared. Y times y can be written as y squared, and so on. Here's part 2. Factor. Let's just go over box C. Find the factors of 12, and they are 1 and 12, since 1 times 12 equals 12, 2 and 6, and 3 and 4. Here's part 3. With your instructor, use the diamond puzzle in box G to factor the quadratic expression n squared plus 7n plus 12 in box H. Then, check your work by multiplying the factors in box I. Here's box G. Find the two numbers whose product equals 12 and whose sum equals 7. Let's start with 1 times 12. 1 times 12 gives you 12. Does 1 plus 12 give you 7? Answer is no, so this solution doesn't work. Let's try 2 and 6 instead. 2 times 6 equals 12. Does 2 plus 6 give you 7? The answer is no, so 2 and 6 will not work. So let's try 3 and 4. 3 times 4 equals 12. Does 3 plus 4 give you 7? The answer is yes, so our solution is 3 and 4, or 4 and 3. Here's box H. We're going to factor n squared plus 7n plus 12, just like we factored here. So on the next line, write down equals, and we're going to find 1, 2 factors. Take a look at the expression. First we had n squared here, and I know from earlier that the factors of n squared are n and n. So that means this factor will have an n, and this factor will have an n as well. Here's the next step. Find the two numbers whose product equals 12 and whose sum equals 7. And we know that 3 times 4 equals 12, and 3 plus 4 equals 7. So here we write down positive 3 and positive 4. Plus 3 plus 4. So our final answer is n plus 3 times n plus 4. Next, box I. Multiply to check your answer. So let's take n plus 3 times n plus 4, and let's actually multiply them together. Here is n plus 3 times n plus 4. Let's multiply. 3 times 4 equals 12. 4 times n equals 4n. 3 times n equals 3n. N times n equals n squared. Add them up. N squared plus 7n plus 12. And you'll notice that this matches the previous problem. Here's part 4. Factor the quadratic expressions. Use the hint if necessary. Here's box J. Let's factor the quadratic expression n squared plus 10n plus 16. And remember, quadratic just means square, just like this. Let's go ahead and factor. On the next line, write down equals, and we're going to find 1, 2 factors. First up, we have n squared, and I know the factors of n squared are n and n. Here's the next step. Find the two numbers whose product equals 16 and whose sum equals 10. And I'll use this hint here. So I know that 2 and 8 will work because 2 times 8 equals 16 and 2 plus 8 equals 10. So here we're going to write positive 2, and here we write positive 8. So our final answer is n plus 2 times n plus 8.